1574 Beaver Creek Lane in Snellville. And I'm not a member of any of the city councils, and I'm not a member of any city committees. I am a mother and a wife and a friend, and I look around this group and I see a lot of people that I know. I see a lot of people that I see everywhere. Almost 30 years ago, my husband and I, as very young people, moved to Snellville because of a love for this city. It was very different then than it is now. There wasn't a whole lot out here, but we still loved it. We moved out here and we made a conscious choice because even then I worked downtown. And I made the conscious choice that we were going to raise our family here. Because literally, I do still believe everybody's somebody in Snellville. And I'm proud of that. I was proud of that then. My children now are 21 and 16. My 21-year-old has traveled the world. She's been to Spain 3 times, and it's because of her Spanish teacher at South Gwinnett High School. If not for that teacher there, she never would have left the country. She opened her eyes to that. She has been to 11 different countries, and it all started with a conversation with her Spanish teacher. So, if we had not moved out to Snellville and I hadn't schlepped down 30 miles each way for my commute, it never would have happened. So, we made that conscious decision to make the sacrifice to raise our family here in Snellville. Snellville has been our home for almost 30 years. This is home. This is where we have our friends, our faith, our fellowship. And it breaks my heart to see that the reason that it is on the news is not because of how phenomenal it is because of how the other F word is coming into play. It's how effed up it is in this building right now. That's wrong. That's wrong. As I tell, and I'm a religious instructor at St. Oliver's Catholic Church, I can bring 250 high schoolers together and get them to work together, okay? How many of you are there? Sit down in a room, work it out. Yes, you have power. Yes, you all have power. You know what? There's consensus. When a 16-year-old is working so diligently against the consensus of the group, that tells me one of 2 things has happened. There's been a divorce in the family that I don't know about, or a death, and they're crying out for somebody to step in, kick them in the tuchus, and take control and give them some discipline, because they need it. My grandmother used to say, and this is a bad segue, but my grandmother used to say, every taxpayer has a manager, and that, or is a manager of every single elected official. So that's every person in this room is your manager. You report to every one of us. My grandmother was a wise woman. So, since every taxpayer in this room hired each and every one of you, that makes me your boss. Yeah, now who's got the power? I'm short, but I can carry it. So, as one of your bosses, and this specifically goes to you, Mayor Kotz, because I have to say, I carry the pride, and I think a lot of these people in this room carry the pride of everybody as somebody to be proud to live in Snellville. And some of your actions recently have been more along the lines of a 17-year-old child in need of some discipline. Whether, and please let me finish, whether you want to acknowledge that or not, your actions are hurting the city in a multitude of ways, and they're also costing us money And I can cite a specific example if I need to, but I don't think that I do. That's just a waste of both of our times. But please let me know if I need to. So therefore, I'd like to say, stop specifically to you. Before you publish something that may or may not be directly against the charter, stop and work it out. And if you're not going to work it out with the entire council, stop and listen to your council. You are paid by the city, right? So stop and listen to your council. Even the Attorney General said, listen to your council. He's the one that can tell you, right? Was that not what he said in his response? Yes? Yes? So may I ask a direct question of Mr. Powell? No? If I'm not mistaken, in his response to your request for his assistance or response or whatever the legal term is, he specifically said it's not my job to respond to the subdivision of government. That's why you have your own subdivision of government legal staff. Go back to your legal staff, which would be Mr. Powell. Yes, it is. Should I bring it up and print it out for you? Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Or if somebody else has it on hand, if they could read it out if they choose to do so.
I'm not arguing with what the opinion said. I'm arguing with who my legal staff is.
The city's legal staff. That's what he told you to go to. The city's legal staff is Mr. Powell. Is that not true?
No, that's a discussion for another day, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you after the meeting.
The city's legal staff, is that not Mr. Powell? Mr. Powell is not the city's legal staff? The city attorney is Mr. Powell. Is he not the city attorney? I'm sorry, Mr. Powell, that this is the way you have to find out that you're fired. Oh, well. Maybe
I think that's the matter that Mr. Powell alluded to in the beginning of this council meeting that's currently pending.
So, again, please stop.
That's from last December.
I'm keeping you in my prayers. You're all in my prayers, but you specifically are in my prayers. Thank you.
Any additional public comment?
Catherine Creasy, 2829 Adela Court, Snellville, Georgia. And I wanted to congratulate everybody on the decorum. I've been here a long time. My first council meeting in 1973, I want you to know, somebody from the audience and a councilman got into fisticuffs.
Thank you, Ms. Creasy.
Good evening. My name is Richard Ackerman. I live at 2648 Temple Johnson Road. As you know, the city of Snellville has been blessed with outstanding employees. To take care of those employees, we have to have a very competent staff. We have good supervision, we have good directors, and we have an administrative staff. The leader of our administrative staff is Mr. Butch Sanders. He came to Snellville with a vision. He has implemented part of that vision, and he has started to move Snellville forward in the right direction. Part of that, he needs a staff to help him with that. We have that staff, and leading that staff is our own Melissa Arnold. She is very competent and versatile. She can work any job, anywhere, anytime in this city. You know that. You've been part of that. We have a team here. We work all jobs as a team. All are let known what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it. There are no surprises. I just wanted to say that it is a pleasure coming to work for Mr. Sanders and Melissa Arnold. I'm only a part-time employee. I work 28 hours a week because of Obamacare. I enjoy my job. I feel we have a very competent staff, and I say to you this evening, I would appreciate it if you do not change the team. Please do not change the team. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tony Warren. I reside at 3013 Barrington Place. I debated long and hard whether or not I would get up and say a couple of things. But I think that there is two things that need to be said. Several people have mentioned that you should come to more meetings. If you were here more often, you would know this, you would see this. I've only been in Snellville for 13 months, okay? And the Snellville that is being described up here is not the Snellville that's being described out there, okay? I'm a big proponent of diversity and inclusion, okay? I think we have a matter of perception here, okay? We have half of the room that sees something and they perceive it one way, and another half that perceives it another way. Does not mean that either one is wrong. They're going by their life experiences. But when you say that you're here today, but you're not here all the time, you have to ask yourself why. And the answer that I've received is that a segment of the population of Snellville does not feel that they are represented in this place, okay? I am not going to say that that's malicious or it's done intentionally, but that is a feeling. And so now, when a segment of the population sees an opportunity for some diversity, no matter at what level of government there is or that it is being represented in, they now feel like, okay, maybe I have a reason to show up. Maybe if I go and support this person, which I disagree about it not being about Ms. Richardson, it's not solely about her, but it is about her. And when it is about her, it is about a group of people, okay? And I, you know, you can say that it's not, and that's fine. And you have privy to a lot more information than I do. But once again, we're dealing with perception, okay? And whether we're here every single meeting or not, there's still going to be a difference of perception. And out of everything that I got from the reading, there were two things that really stood out to me. The first one was that the particular, I'm not sure what it's called, not amendment, but what the mayor read in resolution. My understanding was that was just presented to her today. That stood out. And the second thing that stood out to me was that the young lady who is actually in the position, the city clerk position now, I didn't hear that there was going to be a loss of salary or anything like that. What I heard was, and I don't know if it's correct or not, that she has been an outstanding employee who has taken on more and more and more responsibility. That's what I heard. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's true or not. That's what I heard, okay? And as a result, that responsibility was being divided up, and that she would still assume some of the responsibility, keep her salary, and someone else was going to come along who had experience from a bigger city and assume another part of the responsibility, and it was not going to cost the city more money. That sounded like a win-win to me. That's what I heard. That's what was read, or that's what was said. That's what was said. Okay? That's what I heard. And so if it's true or not, I don't know. But my whole point, and let me get back to my point, then I'm going to sit down, is perception is everything. And diversity is what makes a city move forward. When we have inclusion, then we'll have power as a city, and we'll be united. That's all I wanted to say.
My name is Marilyn Swinney. My address is 1832 Glenwood Lane, Snellville, Georgia. You know, in the future years, when citizens or people are talking about the mayor, Kelly Coates, and Snellville, what they're going to remember is turmoil and strife. They're not going to remember any of the good. That's the way people are. And you don't want that for a legacy, do you? That's what your legacy will be. They'll remember turmoil and strife. Thank you.
I'm Pastor Collins, Pastor Elijah Collins. I reside at 2815 Manor Brook Court in Snellville. I must say that this is disappointing. This is disappointing as we stand a week away from honoring the life legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who fought for equality, fought for unity. This is disappointing. The young man said perception is real, or however he termed that. The fact of the matter is perception is our reality. The way we perceive it is our reality. I had a whole lot I was going to get up here and say, but I realized at some point, because I'm not present at all of these proceedings, I can't speak to a lot of those things. But I promise you this: I will research it, and I will come back. Someone alluded to the fact that, and all of these are not my members. Some of them are city members, but a lot of them are my members, and those that aren't ought to be. Someone alluded to the fact that they had maybe been told some wrong information. I would say this: I went back as a pastor and I told them what I saw. I told them what happened to me. Bobby Howard, I don't know if you meant it. I'm not going to speak that on you, but you did disregard and disrespect me. And so I told my church family that I was disregarded and disrespected. The thing about the black community is the church is the nucleus of the black community. They care about how their pastors are treated. They care about how their members are treated. I've been here several times before, and my perception is this: the times that I've been here, I've seen African-American candidates that were nominated, shot down without any explanation at all. We're just not going to do it now. There may be some behind the scene, I don't know. But my perception is that all of y'all are Caucasian. And I would like to see diversity, not just there, but in the city more. My thing is this. If we're going to move forward, and if we're going to talk about unity in the community, we cannot continue to look like what's behind me, where everybody's on one side and everybody's on the other side. We got to come together and we got to get to know one another. Several of you have been to our church and you worshiped with us. You walked away and you said, what a wonderful people we are. Phyllis Richardson is a wonderful person. She's one of those people that was at our church. And my thing is this: even if it was not done the way that it should have been done, according to you all, according to the charter, No one deserved to be treated the way we were treated on Friday. No human being deserved to be treated like that. Bobby, you said that you like to talk about the good that happens in Snellville. I think at the brink of an ML King Day celebration, bringing an African-American individual and sitting right there up there would have been a wonderful good to talk about in the city of Snellville. I believe that day is coming. One of the things I'm going to promise you as the pastor of this church in Snellville, and along with my colleagues, Dr. Woods and others that are here, one of the things I'm going to promise is that we're going to be more attentive to these meetings. And not only that, but we're going to be more attentive to the voting, the local voting that takes place here. And I'm not saying this to any one individual. I'm saying it to the consensus. In the book of Daniel, when the king was acting crazy, the Bible said Daniel saw writing on the wall. Mene, mene, tike uparson. It means that your days are numbered. And your kingdom will fall. Not talking about any individual, but I am promising you this, that as a community, in this community, we're going to begin to take note. And I'm going to make sure that my colleagues, my members, and their friends pay close attention to what goes on. And that when rightful candidates and when qualified candidates come up for election, no matter what the hue, that they're voted into office. I promise you that. God bless you.
Thank you, Melvin Everson, 1725 Winding Creek Circle, Snellville, Georgia. Former city councilman, city of Snellville, former state rep, city of Snellville, I now.
Mr. Everson, please continue.
I had not planned to come tonight, but I could not help myself after hearing a lot of the comments. As I was speaking to Miss Elisa Boykins out in the hallway before this meeting convened, I shared with her, I'm in pain right now. I've served on that council. I was the first African American to be elected to the City Council of Snellville. I was not successful my first time. I was not successful my second time, but I was successful my third time. I respect each and every last one of you in your respective positions. As President Obama said, elections have consequences. If you're not satisfied with what you're seeing, put your candidate out there, put the message out there, and let the voters decide. The voters decided in November. I respect the mayor in her position. The voters elected her mayor. I respect the city councilman. The citizens voted you in as city councilmen. But I can stand here and tell you unequivocally, each day I was at the Capitol representing this district, it pained me to hear the negative comments about the city council and the city of Snellville on a daily basis. And they said, Representative Everson, what is going on? What is happening in Snellville? Why can't they all get along? I don't know. I don't know. Reverend Collins is a good friend of mine. My pastor is here. Reverend Woods is a good friend of mine. I stand here in pain for what Melissa and Miss Richardson are going through right now because of what has happened. Please hear me. Adhere to the city charter. You want diversity? Put the candidates up. You may not be successful, but don't give up. You can't force your will on the people by trying to circumvent the charter. And to the city council, respect the mayor. She was elected mayor until the voters decide otherwise 2 years from now to send her back or replace her with someone else. Let's make Snellville a city where everyone is welcome and proud to be called somebody. Diversity is good. But let me be on record here and say, I don't want someone just because of their pigmentation. I want someone that is qualified to do the job. Mayor Couts, Ms. Richardson, I have no doubt is qualified based upon her credentials. Council, look at all of the candidates that she's presenting. If you find fault in some of them, let her know what you do. All of you supported me when I ran for city council. You supported me when I ran for state rep. I don't think any one of you, including the mayor, has a racist bone in your body. You're good, decent, working human beings. I stand here tonight in pain. I stand here tonight because of the division in this city brought on by whatever means. But let's leave out of here tonight resolve that Snellville is better than this. Snellville is larger than this. I've been here since 1988. My son is a proud graduate of South Gwinnett High School and the University of Georgia. I love Snellville, and I'm proud to call Snellville my home. Miss Melissa, you remember when I first got elected? This city was open arms to me. They assisted me. They welcomed me in with open arms. Snellville is changing? Yes. We recognize that. But let's move beyond this and do what is right for the city of Snellville and make it proud for everyone. I respect all of you, and it pains me tonight just to be here. It pains me. I worked hard to bring unity to this city. Made mistakes? I apologize for those. I worked hard to make Martin Luther King Day a celebratory day here with the late Robbie Susan Moore. I worked hard. And my desire as a public servant is to be one that people can say, I want to be like him because he respects all people regardless of where they are from. I know I will feel repercussions behind what I'm doing tonight, but I'm here in my own capacity, not the capacity of Executive Director, Georgia Commission of Equal Opportunity, where we handle situations that are unpleasant to the normal citizen. So, let's get it right so we won't be here again with this. Let's respect everyone that's been elected. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for what you do. God bless you, and God bless the great city of Snellville.
Good evening, Council. My name is David Brown. I reside at 2750 Runnelwood Lane, Snellville. Sometimes out of adversity, you can get some good. As they say, iron sharpens iron. And I don't necessarily think that everything here is about racism, but like Pastor Collins said, perception is reality. And sometimes when we look out and we don't see the diversity, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I would agree with the official there that you shouldn't put somebody in office specifically because they're black. I'll be the first person to tell you that. One of the things I do disagree with is there wasn't someone on the council, it was someone here in the audience who got up and said, you know, I'm not even sure of Miss Richardson's credentials. She is qualified for the job. I'm not here to say that she should get the job or that Miss Arnold should not be the city clerk. What I do want to say is this. I've been in Snellville, my wife and I. We have 5 kids since 1996. And by the good Lord, we make a good bit of money, so we pay more taxes than some people make. So I feel like we're qualified to get up here and speak. One of the things I wanted to say when we arrived here, I was standing outside on the cell phone, and I did some coaching for Brookwood's football program and baseball programs for years. Our oldest son graduated from Brookwood High School and playing college football now. And as I was outside, I saw Blake Chavis came up to me, you know, did some coaching with him. And it's amazing how we can all come together. We can all go cheer the Brookwood football team on, go cheer South Gwinnett on, go cheer on Shiloh. And when we come together, we don't have a disagreement at all. We all come together as one. But if we change the lens on that camera to black and white and then pan the room, you would think it was 1960 in here. That's the thing that really disheartens me. I'm not here so that Phyllis Richardson, a member of my church, can get a job. It's more important to me that we say, you know what? Let's look at everything. Let's look at the facts, and let's find a way to be harmonious. The other thing that I would suggest, regardless of how you feel about each other or how I feel about one or another, some people, black, white, of all walks of life, came up here and made very good points. And guess what? I applauded the points on both sides. So I'm not here to decide that, oh, well, this person made a great point, I should applaud for that, or I shouldn't applaud because I'm sitting on this side. That's not the way that we should look at things. If something is for the greater good, then we should applaud for that and say, you know what, let's find a way to move forward and make that happen. The other thing that I would suggest, not to the council, but to the citizens of Snellville, is I don't think that it's good in any forum to disrespect council members or the mayor. I've heard a lot of people come up here and say things that I just think that were downright disrespectful. It doesn't matter what your position is. You're an elected official, and I think that you should all be respected. And the way that we have thrown some of the insults across the board, I think, is pretty disgraceful. I think that we should take a few moments and say, you know, how do we feel on Friday nights when we're out there having a hot dog? Because guess what? When we're out there cheering on the maroon and gold, I'm a Brookwood guy. Some of you are South Gwinnett people, but when you're out there cheering your team on, what do? We sit there and we shake each other and say, man, look at that run. He just went for 80 yards. We're sitting there getting a hot dog. Can I get you a hot dog? Let me grab you a hot chocolate. Why can't we be that way when it comes to the rest of the world? You know, I moved out here and I tell people good things about Snellville all the time. Now, me personally, I know the mayor. I know the mayor just because, you know, I've seen her from time to time. I've seen some of the good works that she does. Can she improve? Certainly. We all can. The moment that we are too good for anything, then I guess we're Jesus, because none of us are perfect. You know what I mean? But I ask that you find a way and not just turn away a person for creed, color, whatever the case may be. Like you said, if maybe it should be on the charter. Let's do what we need to do to work together. Because for one thing's for sure. As this room is divided, if we are divided, we're going backwards. We're going backwards. And there are a lot of people in this crowd on this side of the room that I know, believe it or not. And it feels good when I go up to kids, whether they're white, black, Asian, Hispanic. Coach Brown, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, how's college? How you doing? We need to have that same relationship when we're walking around so that people feel the same way they do on Friday nights that they do when you just encounter somebody on the street on a Tuesday. It's not a good feeling to sit in this room. I told my wife when we arrived there, I said, man, this is ridiculous. There's people sitting on either sides of the room. And I felt like, we really should have made a conscious effort to say, you know what, everybody stand up like musical chairs. We're going to play the music. When the music stops, you sit where you sit. So I suggest that we do that at the next meeting, because you won't learn about people until you make an effort to learn. You have to make an effort, and it begins with us. It begins with each and every one of you. The onus is on each and every one of us to say, let me find out a little bit something about you. I pay taxes, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of my kids who we've raised in this community. And I'm proud when I walk and talk to people that I'm respected as a member of the community. But I would ask that we all of us, make an effort to try to do that. That's it. And again, these are our elected officials, whether we agree, disagree with those opinions. I think that we should respect each and every one of them, and it looks tacky to all of us to come up here and hurl insults at the mayor or at council members. I just think that it's in poor taste. I think it slows down our progress. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any additional public comment? Seeing none, the time is 9:28 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming out here tonight and have a safe trip home.